you give me the same teams and put exact same teams and put Matt Moore on the field versus Tua, I'm probably gonna go with Matt Moore.
Stupid.
Har har har.
Omar. Oh man, the listeners, by the way, are the ones that did that. Okay, they went and found
Listen,
you picking Matt Moore over Tua and sent it to me.
thank you. I appreciate it. I
Oh
listen.
man,
Now that he's the
yes,
number
sir.
one
Good morning.
passer, now that he's the number one passer in the NFL, like it looks ridiculous as for 2 weeks. And I mean, Matt Moore was a savvy quarterback. I still like Matt Moore. I always respect Matt Moore. I think the conversation was Chad Pennington as well. Still take Chad Pennington. But Tua's showing tremendous talent and tremendous flashes, and he's probably ahead of what most people expected he would be right now. And hopefully he can keep it up.
Yeah, well, I think he will. I've always felt that he's this. It's just at Alabama, he had structure, Omar. He had real coaches and real talent and a real scheme, and he was, like
Yeah,
a rudderless ship for 2 years that he didn't have people around him that could create the direction, and now he has Mike McDaniel who understands offenses at this level, knows how to build them, and so he knows how to complement your players.
yeah.
I'll give you a great example. This is an awesome example. You know what's going on with your buddy in Pittsburgh, Najee Harris?
Which
Are you
okay, well, he's
are you
playing with
following
like
me?
a Liz Frank injury.
No. He's just sucking right now. He's
No,
terrible. Averaging
he's playing with an injury. He
no, but
suffered a
listen to me. He's averaging 3.3 yards per carry right now. He's not doing well. Jalen Warren, some undrafted kid out of Oklahoma State's outplaying him, getting 5.3 yards per carry. But that's not the way I look at it. I look at it as Najee Harris doesn't have a quarterback. It's that's just the way it goes, dude. And so so apparently he's dancing too much. And why? Because this is what happens when your running game hits a wall because they don't respect your quarterback. They plug every hole. Your running back gets hit over and over and over, and it gets in his head, and it's like now he's got to try to overdo it. And that's what's going on with Najee. Najee's not a bad player, but Najee has a bad situation now. Because as you know, Omar, if there's no respect for your quarterback, bro, unless you're Derrick Henry, your running game is going to die. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
is it really Najee Harris's fault that he has to dance or whatever? No, dude. It's that he has no other guy to compliment him and take pressure off of him because they know they're not going to respect any Pittsburgh quarterback. They're going right after Najee Harris in the running game and eliminate them right there and force the kid to beat you. So, sometimes it's the environment you have that doesn't allow the player to grow. And in
Yeah.
this case, that's what will happen with Tua for 2 years. Now you've got the thing that's watering the plants the proper way, Mike McDaniel. That's it, bro.
You know
Really not.
what's interesting, and I'm not really ready to call Mike McDaniel a genius and a superstar, and I think he is a candidate for Coach of the Year. What he's done has been thoroughly impressive, the way that they've responded to adversity. But I think the most impressive thing is that the offense, the passing game, is as dangerous and respected. That wasn't his forte. And he's showing you that there are no limitations. While he was a run game coordinator and specialized in it, he can dial up a pretty sexy passing attack. I mean, it helps when you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and even Mike Gesicki to a degree, but they're just getting it done. They're getting it done on all levels offensively. I don't think we've ever seen an offense like this since probably the 1980s.
Yes.
Um, it, it
Early 90s too with Marino. Early 90s probably. But hey, to add to your point, this is all without a dominant running game.
yeah,
Wait,
I don't think they're a bad
wait
running
till you
game.
give wait till you give to a guy that when he puts the ball, the linebackers are and it's oh my God, it's over. Wait till you give him a running game.
I mean, I like what I saw from Chris Wilson last week. It was pretty impressive, and I definitely like what I saw from Mostert.
I know, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a running game. You know,
what
like
give him
a
when you give him a
threatening running game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the fear of the play action is it's making people respect the run game, and it's opening up the passing game. I mean, I love their offense from a play. I've always loved that offense, play action, moving the quarterback, deception. Um, I just love it. I really do. And it creates so many windows for Tua. It's not the RPO. It's better. It's an elevated offense. I while I found the RPO interesting, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's like paint by numbers for offense.
Yeah,
There's
but it also depends on the passer you have running it, and how much he understands how he can manipulate stuff, whether it's with your ball work or your eyes, because he's done a great job of manipulating and moving safeties and throwing people open also. That's the thing. It's not that they're running free all the time. He's also, with his anticipatory skills, throwing people open too. Credit, by the way, to Emmanuel Acho. He did a really nice job. He put a video together showing some of those plays where he throws people open with anticipation throws.
Yeah, no,
that's been the cool thing of watching people now, respect the kid and his play. And I still hear too much of, oh, it's McDaniel, it's the receivers, and that you can put other quarterbacks in there, and that, come on, man. It's like we've gone through 20 years of trying to replace Marino, and stop telling me that you can plug anybody in there and just do it.
He's a good quarterback and this has always been the case, from accuracy, anticipation, throwing precision passes. Yeah, we can say whatever we want about the deep ball, but that's not the foundation of his game. And the truth is, you shouldn't need to have to throw the ball 50 yards in the air on a regular basis. He is this era's. He has the potential to be this era's Drew Brees, and I love that. I respect that.
All right, so when you look at the job of the team overall now, and you see it 6-3, they got a good chance of being 8-3. Omar, after the 8-3, because I say that because it's the Browns in Houston, you should win those two games. After that, there's a 4-game stretch where you play at San Francisco, at the Chargers, at the Bills. Well, I don't know if Josh Allen's going to be there or not. And then there's one more game that's not that hard. Oh, Green Bay, because Green Bay's kind of looking ugly. But you look at those teams. If Miami and Tua win 3 of those 4, is Tua in the MVP conversation? Remember, you're 11-4 at that point. Let's just say.
I don't think there.
I'm going 3-1. If you go 4-0, I'm pretty sure he's in the MVP conversation.
I don't think there's going to be a Tua MVP conversation because of the level of respect that he has and the disrespect that he's faced. Nobody's going to give an immediate about face and give him the praise and acknowledgement for what he's accomplished and what he's helped this team accomplish. What they will do is
the extremes. That's interesting.
What they will do is they will give Tyreek Hill, put him in the conversation for MVP, and say Tua is a byproduct of Tyreek Hill, who probably will be on pace for 2,000 receiving yards. And as a Dolphin fan, you get splitting hairs and crying about it. You can get behind one or you can get behind the other. See, you're not going to be able to get behind both. If you want Tyreek Hill to have a chance, you got to get behind him. And I'm sure Tua is smart enough to get behind him.
Tua's not that guy. He's not. He's not that guy.
So
he'd actually rather Tyreek win it than him, knowing him. he
Probably.
probably would rather
And
that. He only
considering
gives a shit about winning the games. That's it. So that's yeah.
considering the offensive season that Tyreek is having, while I have a ton of respect for what Tua has accomplished, and maybe if he finishes the season as the number one rated quarterback in the NFL, which is a possibility, maybe he will be in that conversation. And his team gets to 12 wins. I think maybe if he's the number one rated quarterback and his team gets to 12 wins, they'll begrudgingly say, okay, you could be in this conversation, but we'd rather give it to Lamar, or we'd rather give it to Patrick Mahomes, or, I don't know what's going to happen with Josh Allen. I would say, is he in the top 5 of the conversation? No. Should he be? Yes. But Tyreek Hill is probably in the top 5, and that's probably the person, as long as he continues to put up these monster numbers, top person that the fan base should probably get behind, because he does have a legit chance to win it.
That's that I never thought of it that way. That's a great point on your part, that might be some of the thinking that could get in the way. I personally think he'll be in the MVP conversation, but if he's not, it's exactly what you're saying, because so many put him down that for them to go from one extreme to all the way to the other extreme,
that ain't happening.
It would make them look so bad that they don't want to go that far. So instead, marvel at Tyreek approaching 2,000 yards or eclipsing 2,000 yards or whatever it is for a wide receiver. It's interesting because he's playing his best football under Tua, and just like Kansas City, they had another number one next to him, because Waddle and Kelsey are the equal, right? I mean, it's the same thing as being opposite of Tyreek. The other guy that gets a lot of attention is either Waddle or Kelsey. So it's kind of a lot of the similarities, but it's funny how in this system and with Tua, he could be having the best year of his career. So
you remember when Tyreek was on his Tua campaign and he was going to take names and tell everybody, Tyreek was 100% right, and people are going to have to eat their words, and people are going to have to give them their props and their respect. Remember when people were saying Tyreek is going to fall off? He's not going to have the season or the productivity that he had with Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes was a phenomenal quarterback. Well, Tyreek has been better with Tua than he has with Patrick Mahomes. Now people say what? And it's not like you're saying, oh, he came to a better offense or with a better head coach, because that's Andy Reid. Like that's Andy Reid.
And no running game. They do have a running game in Kansas City. Here, there still isn't. There's a semblance of a running game, but over there, they have had a real running game on a consistent basis established. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean,
this has been, it's kind of like a honeymoon period, and you just don't want it to end. You don't want it to, the offense. I wish the defense was better, but I understand what they're going through, and this is evolution, and new players can help, and hopefully you settle down in the secondary and get better, figure out a way to get better. Hopefully you don't suffer any injuries at linebacker, because you're already paper thin there. I don't know what you're going to do if somebody gets hurt. But from an offensive standpoint, there's nothing to complain about that offense. And, could you get better play from the line? Yeah, but they're getting better now.
Hey, dude, they're giving their quarterback time to pass.
Yeah.
That's a major, major accomplishment compared to last year. Teddy had time to pass. Skylar had time to pass. And I got to tell you, Omar, this combination right now is not too bad. And maybe Austin Jackson comes back to become the swing tackle backup left guard or something.
I've been impressed with what I've seen with Robert
instead of being a starter.
Yeah, I've been impressed with what I've seen with Robert Jones, and I'm curious to see what can happen with continued development, continued coaching, continued experience. The game starts to slow down for him, so hey, 2 thumbs up for what the offense has been able to accomplish so far. Let's just continue to keep that up.
I think the intriguing part about Robert is that now he gets a consecutive amount of time to play, where he comes in for a quarter, filling in for somebody, or a half because somebody went out, and then the following week he's back to being a backup again. Now he is starting, game planning, part of everything, and I think now you're going to get a really good feel whether Robert Jones can play. And I'll give these guys credit. Every time they hang on to a dude, Omar, whether Trill was coming around this year, but Needham or whatever, all these young guys that they hang on to,
Cater Coda, whatever you say his name.
They end up developing these guys, and because they like them, like I'm intrigued with Tanner Connor because they love his speed at tight end, but he's so raw that he hasn't been able.
You saw him in practice, shit. Like
he can run, but obviously he's green still. It's like Trill Williams. The year before, it was kind of his developmental year and all that, and then the kid was really starting to come, alive this training camp, and he suffers an injury. But yeah, it's I'm intrigued because they seem to find these guys, and then they have a conviction on them. And Robert Jones, they've had a conviction. They've invested well in him. I'm intrigued to see how
I want them to have a conviction on a linebacker. That's what I want.
Yeah. They haven't. Although Duke Riley, bro,
I like Duke Riley.
He's developing, man. He made a big ass play at the end of the game this past week. Okay, it's hard to corral that kid, and he was able to do it.
Yeah, but he's more of a nickel linebacker. I need a first and second down linebacker.
I think Tyndall. It's just green. It's just he's a rookie, so it's just one of those things that this is probably a developmental year for Tyndall. I would expect him to really either get better towards the end of this year or really next year.
Yeah. He played a little last week, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And he made his mistakes. But then again, last week, like, people were killing Josh Boyer, and it's like, bro, I was trying to tell people in the post game. Okay, so you laugh when Tyreek Hill makes people look stupid, right? And you laugh when you watch Derrick Henry make people look stupid, and Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes. Well, guess what, dude? Justin Fields is that. And it wasn't Boyer's bad calls. Players were there to make plays.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, bro, tip your hat to that guy.
No, that was an amazing game. I mean, I'm curious to see how they're going to continue to coach him. I mean, he's like a Lamar Jackson-esque talent. Use him like that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see, interesting to watch. But that's about player evolution, coaching evolution as well. One thing, being on I Am Athlete and being there with a lot of former players who everybody's got 10 or plus years of experience, which gives them and have done it at a high level. I learned a tremendous amount sitting there talking football with those guys. But one of the main criticisms that they've always made is that coaches don't want to coach anymore. They want to, this is what I do. This is my style. This is my scheme. This is what we're going to do. Not coaching to their talent, not coaching to their talent strengths and masking their limitations. That was the one thing that I did respect about Brian Flores. He rarely put players in position to do things that they were bad at. And I feel like we don't get enough of that with Josh Boyer. This is my scheme. This is what I want to do. This is my approach. They need to stop playing so much press and probably play a little bit more zone with the secondary that they have.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they feel they don't have corners to play that.
I get you, but
and remember, you're playing with corners 5, 6, 7, and 8.
You're okay.
2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4 are gone for the season, and number one is
not season. Is Byron Jones not coming back?
Well, okay. Here's what my cynical ass is thinking. Okay,
I can't get why can't anybody get an answer on this question?
Well, we've kind of thrown some hints. He's doing business, bro. He knows he's gone in the off season, and he had a March operation. He had it late, and
so why is he still around the team?
From what I'm told in the building, that he's very particular about how he returns. It's not a Will Fuller thing, but he's like, I got to be right, or if not, I'm not. And so he's had some setbacks, and 1 week it might be a hamstring, and the other week, working back on the injury, this, that. And for what I think is happening is he's trying to get himself right so he can go on the field and play a couple of games at a high level, put that on tape, so
Smart
he has
business.
something going to the offseason. I don't think he wants to put a lot of games on tape because then he also runs the risk of re-injuring himself, and then it ruins his offseason. So I think he'll come back, but maybe for a couple games.
Final month of the season. Okay, I'm okay with that. But
yeah, it'll help the team out, and that's all that matters. But my point is, he's 2, Needham is 3, and Trill was 4, and they're gone. So now you're playing with 5, 6, 7, and 8, and number 1 is playing like what, 70-80%, dude. So like, and you lost Brandon Jones, and he's irreplaceable.
This was
find it hard for Boyer to overcome all of that.
Yeah, but they should have saw that coming. They should have saw all, especially with the Byron Jones.
Not that many.
No. When we began training camp and you were there, I told you, I said before all the injuries, cornerback is probably one of my biggest concerns about this team, and that's with expecting Byron Jones to come back. And they should have gone out and they should have gotten a Janoris Jenkins, a veteran that's established, that just didn't want to do camp, that wants to come in and play, and it would have helped the process. But I guess hey, they're where they are without it, so props to them. But at some point,
at that point, from what I'm told, the Jenkins of the world, the Haydens of the world wanted a full-time starting job, and they were afraid that once Byron comes back, they get relegated, plus Needham's there. So it was one of those things that they didn't want to rock the boat. But little did they know that Byron was going to be out most of the season, so it would have been perfect for those guys.
Yeah,
and then
even now,
else. So
even now, a Joe Hayden, you telling me that a Joe Hayden can't help you out right now?
I'm not arguing with you, bro. I'm not saying that, but obviously there's something going on there. You know what I mean? Hey, we got to go. Tell them about I Am Athlete so folks can continue to follow you, my brother.
We're here right now in Cincinnati, wrapping up. We're doing a project called I Am, and so it's something new for us. It's a new venture. I'm super excited about it. A lot of production work. We just did the wrap for the shoot, so a lot of production work gonna be done on my end. So I'm excited about it. So that's what we got working out now, and we've got our Atlanta tour on December the 1st. We will be in Atlanta. It's going to wrap up our live shows, and then we'll begin taping our episodes. Season 4 on the way.
Love it. Atlanta's a cool place to hang out. Shitty traffic, but a great place to hang out, man. It is. Traffic is a bitch in Atlanta. All right, follow me on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And, of course, catch him at I Am Athlete. Omar, as always, we'll see you next Wednesday, my friend. Appreciate you.
Always.
You got it. There you go. The EssentialMovingExperts.com Miami Dolphins report. Make sure you call them 844-368-5750. Anywhere in the country, long moving services, home moving services, office relocation, doesn't matter what you're doing, what you got to move. And let me tell you, if your home, the new home that you're moving to isn't ready, or business, they will store your goods up to 30 days on the house. Essential Moving Experts, Sean Williams, great people. Tell them that Big O sent you. You'll get $150 off. If the move is over $3,000, you're going to get $250 off. Over 1,600 happy customers have filed in saying Essential Moving Experts do a great job. Call Sean Williams and company. Tell them that Big O sent you. 844-368-5750. All right, let's get ready.